Muscle ache, pain and stiffness is very common in women over 40 because our muscle, ligament and tendon tissue are all reliant on estrogen. So when levels start to fluctuate and decline, the muscles really feel it. And when that happens, we often start to move less or move differently because it's uncomfortable. And then we move even less and even more differently, and our posture starts to change, and we start to notice other areas in the body are feeling uncomfortable as well. And then we normalise that because we're just getting older. Whilst you might be in your 40s or beyond, then it could be your hormones that are causing your muscles to ache and to feel painful or stiff. There are often other factors that you might not be considering, but that are amplifying your discomfort. And in this video, I'm going to share those and some simple strategies that you can implement to help ease the ache. For those new here, hi, hello, welcome. I'm Victoria, encourager, facilitator and motivator of all things women's wellbeing, without fads, fuss or any faff. And if you already knew that, then welcome back to my channel. It tends to be the shoulders, the hips, knees and ankles that really feel the effects of hormone decline. And it is very common for perimenopausal and menopausal women to experience frozen shoulders and plantar fasciitis. Now, in case you didn't already know, the perimenopause can last for up to 15 years, which is why I'm so passionate about starting a hormone conversation, not a menopause one. Because the more you know, the better you do, and the earlier you know it, then the sooner you can start to put strategies in place. But it's not always or only your hormones. The fascia, which is the surrounding of the muscles, can dry out. And when that happens, the layers of it don't glide as they're designed to. So movement feels a bit sticky, a bit clunky, which can then lead to pain. That often then makes us reluctant to move because it hurts. And then the less we move, the more painful it becomes. And then mobility decreases, and then it starts to hurt more, and other things start to hurt just because we're adjusting that original pain just to manage it, to make it easier, and then that cycle starts to continue. So start before the start. How much water are you drinking? Are you drinking your 2 to 3 litres of pure water a day, or are you only drinking tea and strong coffee, but also relying on that to get you through? Because if you are, you probably need to take a further step back and look at the bigger picture. Are you on a caffeine stress roller coaster? Do you actually need to start by identifying and actively managing your stress? Or is it just a habit that you drink 7 cups of tea a day because someone is always putting the kettle on? Now, if that's the case, could you just switch one of those coffees for a herbal tea? Because whilst tea and coffee don't count towards your complete water intake, herbal tea does. And if you don't fancy that, could you just have a glass of water with each cup of tea, either as the kettle's boiling or as a chaser? Because 7 cups of tea accompanied by 7 glasses of water suddenly brings you very close to that 2 to 3 litres, obviously depending on how big the glasses are. Now, pain in your fascia is commonly mistaken for muscle or joint pain. The difference between these two is that muscle and joint pain will worsen as you keep moving, whilst fascia pain gets better with movement and heat through the muscle. But movement, regardless of what you're suffering with, is key for muscle ache and pain. Use it or lose it. Even if it feels counterintuitive, add movement in. Keeping the joints mobile and working on your flexibility and balance is absolutely vital. And I know it hurts to move, and there's an outdated belief that rest is best when it does, but sometimes you have to just look again at the bigger picture. Of course, if you experience any pain during exercise, you must stop immediately, but you also need to differentiate, is it pain or is it soreness, aching, or the very technical term of clicking, cracking and crunching? You might also need to change your belief that you need to be working out long and for hard periods of time, or working out hard for long periods of time even, to get any benefit. Short, consistent workouts really are much more beneficial, particularly if, like far too many women, you're exhausted, you're spinning all the plates, you're trying to be all things to all people, whilst normalising your aching shoulders and clicking hips. Now, if you're not convinced that short is effective, you might want to check out this express workout from inside my online workout and wellbeing subscription. This one will unstick those key stuck areas So I'll put the link for this workout in the description below. I will always encourage a whole body approach to wellbeing, but there is no one size fits all. And sometimes you might need some work done on the fascia. So you might need to go and see a sports therapist or someone that does deep tissue release just to get it moving. But there really is no point doing that unless you've got the absolute foundations in place, like drinking 2 to 3 litres of water a day. And please don't avoid drinking water through fear of leakage. 1 in 3 women are affected by some form of pelvic floor dysfunction. And if you're one of them, please don't normalise it. Don't just pop on a pad and carry on. Those oops moment adverts really need to go, because whilst it's common, pelvic floor dysfunction is not normal and it shouldn't be normalised. If you didn't leak before, but you leak now, go and get it fixed. Go and see a women's health physio and get it repaired. Do not dehydrate through fear of leakage. Please always, always dig deeper. Now, whilst your muscle ache, pain and stiffness could be hormonal, or it could be your fascia pain, it could also be down to your posture. We live in a predominantly forward-facing world. Most things we do are in front of us. Our devices, computers, driving, carrying shopping, everything is in the front. And we also tend to sit down a lot and not always in the chair as it's designed. So over time, as we adapt to being here, our shoulders start to roll forward, we start to collapse the torso, which weakens the supporting muscles in the spine. That then puts extra pressure on the pelvis and the knees because we dump down. And at the same time, that little hunch prevents us from breathing fully and deeply. Now, this newfound alignment and our favoured sitting position also tends to weaken the glutes. They are the biggest muscle, and when they weaken, that can lead to more lower back discomfort, to hip and knee pain, and even to pelvic floor dysfunction, which will result in avoiding drinking water and the fascia drying out, and on it goes. So whilst you're drinking your water, be conscious of how you're sitting or standing. Think about lengthening the spine, lifting out of the pelvis and opening the chest by retracting the shoulder blades, and breathing fully, breathing deep and wide into the lungs. And again, please look to add in some short bursts of purposeful movement to strengthen all the muscles at the back of the body. So from the back of the head all the way down to your heels. And that express workout that I've shared in the description will also help you do this. So whilst your muscle ache, pain and stiffness could be the result of one or of a combination of all of the things I've mentioned so far, there are also some other factors to consider, which might be worsening how your body feels or actually be the root cause. This is why you always have to dig deep. It's my favourite phrase, dig deeper, keep going and take into account that whole body approach, because your gut health and inflammation in the body can have a huge impact on our joints and on ease of movement. Now, gut health is a mammoth topic, but ultimately, if the gut isn't happy, nothing's happy, because your gut is not Las Vegas. What happens in the gut does not stay in the gut. Many of our lifestyle choices impact our gut bacteria. Unfortunately, all too often, destroying the good and making space for the bad bacteria to thrive, which causes the inflammation. Now, I'm a huge fan of adding in more nourishing, less acidic food to calm the gut, to feed the good and to crowd out the bad bacteria. But you also have to consider stress management, sleep hygiene, your hormones, how you're exercising, because when you address your gut, it's not just the gut, hence it being a mammoth topic. Now, there are 2 more big reasons that you could be experiencing that muscle discomfort, and they are lack of vitamin D or lack of magnesium, or both. I'm personally not a huge fan of taking supplements just because, and particularly off-the-shelf multivitamins, because they often contain more emulsifier than vitamin. But there is always a place for the right supplement, and vitamin D and magnesium are often worth looking at adding in. Now, there are many formulations of magnesium supplements, so please do your research. Choose a quality one, and more importantly, the best form for you, because each one offers a different benefit. And I'll put a link down in the description I'll put a link in the description even to a blog I've written about magnesium that might just be a good start point for you to dig deeper. If you choose to take vitamin D, then please make sure it's got K2 with it, or that you're getting sufficient K2 from your foods. Vitamin D is a hormone, it's fat soluble, so ideally take it with a meal when you're eating good fats to improve the absorption, but you also need that K2 to absorb it as well. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, you know how YouTube works. Tap the like button, and if you want to see more of my videos, then tap the subscribe button too. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.